This is Nick Nilsson, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a review of adjustable dumbbells called AdjustaBELLs from Kensui. Now, this is the same company that makes plate-loaded weight vests. It also makes these handles that I've reviewed in the past before called Swissies. Now, this company has put together some really innovative stuff. I absolutely love the weight vests. I use these handles all the time. So I had high hopes going into testing out these adjustable dumbbells. Now, my hopes were justified. Spoiler alert, these things are awesome. What I'm going to do here is kind of go through what they're like, how to use them, and some of the alternative uses that you can do with them, including how they're comparable and or better than regular dumbbell handles that are made out of steel. Because these are actually, I'll do a close-up on here, completely made from plastic. Now, it's extremely strong plastic, let me tell you that right now. I tested these up to probably more than they're rated for. I think I loaded up like 150 pounds onto one of these, and it all just fine. I didn't have any worries about using it at all. Now, I'm going to set one of these down here. Now, one of the primary things that sets these AdjustaBELL handles apart from regular solid steel dumbbell handles is the end post here. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like and what I'm talking about here. This is a normal dumbbell handle with a plate on the end. Now, yes, it has duct tape on it. This is my dad's barbell plate, which I inherited, which is, I'm not taking the duct tape off. Now, this post sticks up. Doesn't seem like a big problem when you're doing certain exercises. Now, imagine you're doing a dumbbell bench press. You're sitting up, you're setting these dumbbells on your leg, this post is driving right into your leg. Now, the key thing with the Kensui handles is these posts, yes, they do screw in. They don't stick out like that. They screw inwards like that. So, let me give you kind of an idea here. This goes in like that. This rolls in like that. Now, boom, flat. Now, as you can see, when you're comparing a dumbbell with a big long post sticking out versus a dumbbell like this, where it's flush, just like a regular normal dumbbell you'd find in a gym, it really opens up a lot of options as far as training goes, especially with dumbbell bench press at home. Now, this is one of the reasons why I actually don't like training with dumbbells, on adjustable dumbbells, with the normal style, because that post sticks up. I train alone and I'm using heavy weight. Setting that stupid post on my leg when I'm coming back down, I don't like to set that on my leg. With this, not an issue. It's strong enough to hold whatever weight I put on there. Now, is this a new innovation? The style is actually not. I actually had a pair of dumbbell handles like this about 15 years ago that were similar, but these are actually better. Now, it was the same concept in that the post pushes inwards like that. I had to dig all over the place to find these things, and it took me forever to find them. And they did have one big massive drawback in that they didn't screw in like this, so they would actually click in. So if you were lucky, you'd be able to kind of get it really close and keep these clicks tight. What I found happened a lot of the time is that it was kind of in between clicks, so when I was using heavy weight, the weights would kind of shift around a little bit. The thing would stay on there, but it would be unstable and wouldn't give me a lot of confidence. These, on the other hand, are exactly what I would have been looking for 20 years ago before I got a whole set of all my own dumbbells and I was just using adjustable dumbbells. This is absolutely perfect for what I'd be looking for. Alright, so now basically I've summed up how good these things are. And they really are that good. These things are really cool. Now, what you're going to need here are standard plates. So this is just the small hole standard size plates. If you have, all you have is Olympic size holes, that's not a problem. They do come with these optional stabilizers is what they call. Now, I'm going to give you a close-up on this here. Basically, that sits in, loops in and sits right there. The Olympic size plate fits right down there on top of that, so it stabilizes it, so you can use Olympic plates without it, but they're going to shift around. with this thing on, it snugs it right against there. They're not going to shift around, and I'll demonstrate that as well here. Now, here's how you put the dumbbells together. When you're using a lighter weight, like 10s, 5s, whatever, it's actually really straightforward. You just basically screw it on there. You can do it a couple of different ways. What I like to do here, especially when getting into the heavier weights, set one end down here, set the other end, and then just spin it around. It doesn't take very long. I mean, you're not going to be doing drop sets with something like this, because by the time you unscrew these, and this is the case with just about every adjustable dumbbell, by the time you get the plates adjusted on there, you're gonna lose kind of the effect of the drop set. So it's not really something you'll use for drop sets, but that's pretty standard for every adjustable dumbbell. Now, spin that and take this thing off. And that comes right up. And you're good. Now, what I'm going to do here is show you how to load it up with heavier weight. So, set the one post down on the ground. This is a 25-pound plate. This is a 35-pound plate. Now, this is just about the limit that I'm going to be able to fit on here. I'd say you want to have at least an inch or more of threads for this to spin on and grab onto. They do have an extender that you can get, which adds another, I think, inch or two onto there, so you can actually use it to load more plates. And I haven't tested that one, but if it's anything like these in terms of solidity, I would have no problem just really loading it up heavy. So put that down, spin it around. Now, you want to tighten it up somewhat. You don't want to get it too tight, because then you're going to have a hard time getting it loose. Not the end of the world if you do. I'm going to show you how to get around that as well. So, with this end down, and this is for heavier loads, then set that on top, line up the hole, eyeball it. You can kind of see, do the same thing with the other plate. And this is by far the easiest way to get this set up. Once that's lined up, then stick it down, boom, and you're all good. Now, if you do want to tighten it up, so you can see this is a little bit loose and rotating, you can actually twist this counterclockwise, and that is going to use the force of the dumbbells to tighten it right up. And this thing is rock solid. As you can see, this is supporting that load no problem. So we got 70, we got 50, what does that make, 120 pounds on here, and it's handling like a champ. So this is something, even just in the regular sized handle, normal handle, you're going to be able to load it up pretty good as long as you have the heavier plates. Now, if you've got a lot of, say, 10-pound plates and you don't have these bigger plates like I do, then you're probably going to want the extenders if you're going to want to load these up heavier. So, for example, if because I've got these bigger plates, I can only put a couple on here and I can get a good amount of weight on here. If you have a bunch of 10s or even 25s, you're going to need to push that physically out a little bit more to fit all those plates onto the handle. But bottom line, this thing can handle it, and I don't have any issues with that at all. So what I'm going to do here then is tighten it up real good. As you can see, this is how you're going to be able to get them off. So put your foot down on here, start that spinning. Once it's unlocked, boom, you're good to go. Take that plate off. Now, I'm also going to show you, once I get into some of the exercise demos, a few of the things you can do with just this part of the handle. So even just having one end loaded gives you some options in terms of exercises you can do. Not a lot of chest stuff, but a lot of pulling stuff is very effective with this single side load, which you can also do with a regular dumbbell handle, but I find this is nice and comfortable because it's got that little nub on the end, which some of those other dumbbell handles don't have. Now, if you find this is not coming loose, that's when you're going to need to step on it again get that loose a little bit, pull it off, you're good to go. Now, one of the biggest benefits I like of adjustable dumbbells is offset loading on the dumbbells. So, for example, what I like to do with bench press, and I'll give you a demo of this as well, is offset load. So I've got 25 pounds on one end, and I'm going to stick with that. Then what I'm going to do, put 35 and a 10. So I've got 45 pounds on one side, and I've got 25 pounds on the other side. And then I'm going to do dumbbell bench press with a couple of these. So I tested it either way. What you want to do is have this heavy side on the thumb side. So as you're pressing, this is kicking inwards. That gives you some of the best chest training with the dumbbell you're ever going to find. This amount of loading, this amount of offset, almost double, basically 25 pounds and 45, so pretty close to double one side to the other. Perfect for doing dumbbell bench press. It's going to feel very weird, very strange, having just basically that thing tilting it and not much weight on the one end, but because of that tilt of the weight, it's really going to force your chest to contract extremely hard. I got some deep soreness in this one the first time I tried it. It's a fantastic way to go for chest training. So I'm going to give you a quick demo of that right now here. Alright, so now I want to give you a quick view of how the stabilizers work on here with a pair of Olympic plates. Now, as you can see, these things are really easy to use. I mean, these things are phenomenal, actually. What you want to do here, screw those down, spin those extenders all the way down as far as they'll go. They don't quite go all the way down. There's like a ½ inch gap here, but that's normal. So, spin those all the way in, and then you're going to load plates just like you were if they were standard plates. So here's that Olympic plate, fits right in. I'll give you a quick close-up on that so you can see right in there that stabilizer. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be close, and that is very close, and that fits, so it stabilizes weight from clanging around. Roll that in. And you can see these things, all you have to do is really spin them and you're good to go. So, set that on there. And the size of this thing is big enough that you can set an Olympic sized plate on there and then just follow the same, yeah, I make it look so easy, don't I? There we go. Rolls right in. Spin it to tighten it up, and you've got yourself a 50-pound dumbbell using Olympic plates. Right, so now I'm going to show you a few other exercises you can do with the Kensui adjustable dumbbell handles. Now, one quick thing, going back to those regular steel handles, when you're doing something like a dumbbell curl and you're bringing down a supinated dumbbell curl, that post can also hit you in the leg. With something like this, when you're using lighter weight, because it's compact and it's flush with the end of the weight, this comes down right beside your body. You don't have the post jamming into your leg. So that's definitely another benefit I forgot to mention earlier, but I wanted to make sure and get across to you now. So here's a few more demonstration exercises of stuff you can do with the AdjustaBELL handle. So those are some of the exercises you can do with the Kensui handle. Now overall, the quality on this thing is fantastic. This is something I have no hesitation recommending, especially for home gym use. This thing will hold up to whatever you want to throw at it. I literally was using it for rows with 120 pound on there, held up just fine. Are there any downsides to using this thing? The only thing I found was sometimes the amount of spinning, it gets tedious. I mean, that's going to happen with just about any dumbbell. The only exception being dumbbell handles that you put things on and you slide a collar onto, like a clamping collar. Those are just like loading a barbell. When you're using spinning things, it takes a little bit longer. The only other real negative I found is a couple of times I was actually able to rotate them so tightly that I actually had a hard time getting the plates off. But what I came up with was setting them on end, use the whole thing, set your foot down on it, turn it like you're turning a steering wheel, or like you're basically using your whole body as leverage on that, and that top one pops right off. To get the handle off, step on it, grab the post with both hands and rotate with your whole body. That's generally going to give you enough leverage to get that post loose. And you have to really, really tighten it basically as tight as you can get it to start having any issues with it. This thing is going to work just fine even if you tighten it just moderately. You want to get it snug but not so tight that it's going to get to that point where it's on too tight. So that's pretty much the only thing you're going to run into on this. Durability, no question, this thing is solid. Use it at home, bring it to the gym if you find your gym runs out of the dumbbells that you want to use regularly. That's absolutely a good use for this. It'll fit right into your gym bag easily. But primarily this thing is intended for a home gym audience, and in that case it's very useful in terms of using both standard plates and the capability of using Olympic plates as well. So if you're in the market for a really versatile training tool like this, this one is something I would absolutely and very highly recommend.